Hey doll babies, so today I'm coming at you with this cooking video for jackfruit. I have been looking for a fresh jackfruit literally for the last year and I could not find it anywhere, but they opened up this Asian market right down the street from my freaking job. It's been there for like the past 4 or 5 months, and I went in there and they have a bunch of jackfruit. Now this slice right here is jackfruit that is already ripe. It came by the slice at the store, and this bigger one is not ripe yet, and in a minute you're gonna see the difference between the ripe one. So you see how much darker it is in color? That's how you can tell if whether or not it's ripe. And a ripe jackfruit, not only is it darker, but it's like pretty like soft to the touch. So this is the same jackfruit from the first clip, but it has been in a cool place, which is my pantry, for about a week. And after a week, you can like touch it. And first of all, this fruit is so amazing because whenever it's raw, it's super sweet. It's kind of like a cross between like a mango and a pineapple in taste. It tastes so freaking good, and I was completely shocked. But when it cooks, all of the sugar renders down and you don't really taste the sweetness anymore, but you can see the texture being different now. Jackfruits are freaking huge. It probably doesn't look as big in this video, but it's freaking huge. When I sliced it up, whenever I sliced it up, I had to put it in some freezer bags and I froze it. And I want to say each slab, like each piece of it, gives me about, I think I got about 5 or 6 slices out of each one. And keep in mind, this pulled pork, vegan pulled pork recipe is only gonna call for one of these slabs. So a little bit goes a long way. My mom thought it was expensive. It's like $20 for the whole jackfruit. But if you're vegan, it's so many different things you can do with it. So a little bit goes a long way. And that one jackfruit can get you a couple of meals, honey. Seriously. Because this pulled pork recipe made 2 sandwiches for my husband. One for me, one for my mom, and then for both of my children. So, and that's just one little slab that you guys are going to see. So, anywho, it was kind of hard for me to completely film getting this stuff out. It was my very first time dealing with a fresh one because normally I just use the ones that are in the can. I highly recommend getting a fresh jackfruit because the taste compared to canned jackfruit is completely different, because when it's in the can, they put the preservative or whatever it is in there and you can kind of taste it as an aftertaste. So anywho, like I said, it's my first time taking one apart. I'll be better next time, y'all. But anywho, I just got the pits out first. So that's how the actual fruit of it looks. Those are the seeds. And now I am going to take apart all of this inside of there. And that's going to be the stuff that actually looks a little bit more like meat. And the pits, they look like meat as well once they cook down. But there you go. You can see that's the stuff that looks like pulled pork. And the pits look like pulled pork when they're cooked down too. But yeah, so add 2 cups of vegetable broth to a pan and then start throwing in your jackfruit. So some people may want to slice it up beforehand. I like it in those chunks because you know how when you make pulled pork or pulled beef, how it's like pieces of fat in there. And yeah, it kind of mimics that. So you're going to put some garlic cloves in there and you're going to bring all of this to a boil. And then once it starts to simmer a little bit, you're going to add 1/2 of an onion. White onion, but I mean it doesn't really matter. You can do whatever you want to do. I just have white onion around the house. So you're just going to stir this up and bring this to a boil. Now I'm going to add liquid smoke. Liquid smoke can be found at a lot of different stores, and it's just for that smoky flavor. It's actually amazing. I found out about it on YouTube. So smoked paprika, smoked paprika, and it's going to add that smoky taste. A little bit of chili powder. I don't really have the measurements for these, you guys. Like, I just kind of eye it cumin, probably like a half a teaspoon of each one, and some black pepper. And the roasted garlic is up to you. You can kind of add whatever little seasoning you like. And this is a little bit of coconut oil, about a tablespoon. And we're just going to stir all of that in together. And don't worry, it's going to cook down. Just watch. It's like freaking magic. And I'm going to say, vegans are mad scientists. Like, who would ever think to do this? So with making this jackfruit, you're going to have to be patient, because sometimes you'll think that it's finished, but it's not. So take your time. I ended up having to cook mine for about 30 minutes. And as you can see, the more it renders down, like the less liquid is left behind, the better. So you want to get all of that liquid almost gone, 100%. Just keep stirring. So now I'm going to add some barbecue sauce. And this is probably like half of the bottle. If even that, half of the bottle. You don't really need to do a lot, but I filled the bottle up with water and got the rest of it out. And so you're just gonna keep on stirring it, girl. Just keep stirring it, girl. Stuff is so freaking good. Please promise me you're gonna make this. And also, you guys, make sure you follow my health and wellness page. Me and my best friend have our own health and wellness business called Hot on Health, and check it out. As you can see, it's cooking down so beautifully. So now we want to caramelize it a little more. So I'm adding 1 tablespoon of coconut sugar. You can use any sugar you want to use, but I like coconut sugar because it's a lot better for you. So we're just going to keep mixing that up. And this is going to cause the actual jackfruit and the onions that are in there to start caramelizing. And while that's going on, I'm going to make our side. That was just some chopped zucchini, some peppers, and some onions. So just whatever vegetables you have. And those are like some hot peppers. I added a little bit of chopped garlic cloves, probably about 2 chopped garlic cloves. You're going to see me add in some basil. I have dry basil. I do recommend you use fresh if you have it on hand, but I don't really keep fresh herbs in the house because they tend to go bad, because sometimes I get lazy and don't feel like cooking all the time. Jesus. Yeah. So let that simmer. And then you're also going to want to put your jackfruit in the oven. I have mine up at 350, and it stayed in there for about 15 minutes. And then I cut the broiler on for 5 minutes. And as you can see, tell me that does not look like pulled freaking pork. So you're going to give it one more stir. And then flatten everything back out, and then put it back under the broiler for like another 5 minutes, and then take it out. And in the meantime, keep working on your veggies. Like I said, adding a little bit of basil, dried basil, which is some magical stuff. And then all the other seasonings that I told you guys I would use. That's some pink Himalayan salt, which is a salt that I have been addicted to. I don't use any other type of salt ever. Smoked paprika, as you guys know, I'm addicted to that stuff. And just keep seasoning it, girl. Yes. And mind you, don't forget to put your jackfruit back in the oven. So this kind of kills time. And as you can see, things are starting to caramelize and look all good. So yeah. So now things are coming to an end. I've toasted the buns. I don't have a specific one. I just use the buns that were in there. Tell me this does not look like pulled pork. And it is so freaking good. I would not lie to y'all. This stuff is so good. And my husband is so funny because he's like, babe, we from Nitty. Like, who do we know, vegan or vegetarian? But when I start making recipes like this, my husband switched over. I never thought I can get my husband to switch over from like being a hardcore meat eater to vegetarian, but he loves it. I added just a little bit of kale on top, and that is pretty much it, you guys. I didn't add any cheese or anything like that. I can guarantee you it's like the best thing you will ever taste, like ever. You're not gonna believe that you didn't eat not one animal. Like, no animals were harmed during this video. Yes. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good day.